can I make this video quick while I'm sitting here waiting in the Chick-fil-A line? Umar Johnson just, needs to just stop. And I've talked about this before. I see this bullshit between, Kevin Samuels and Umar Johnson. I haven't even really dove on it. I already know what it's going to be about, because Kevin Samuels is highlighting all of the issues with black women and basically, saying that what a lot of the black manosphere is saying, that, black men don't really have much of a choice, but to date out. Now, obviously, this is going to come in conflict with Umar Johnson and Umar Johnson's position about, increasing the black family and bettering the black family and everything. Why is it first off, why is it all these men, black men, who somehow became the voices of the black community? That not only are they parents, but they can't maintain healthy relationships. I'm just saying. But anyway, so, it's like, now that Kevin's blown up, you got Umar Johnson, fighting for a position and, frustrated he's not getting the attention that Kevin Samuels is getting, and there's a lot of people that are on that shit. But the stupid thing is, it's like Umar Johnson has already been called out for his hypocrisy. I can pull up videos all over the internet of Umar Johnson and his position and his stance on interracial relationships, which, from a philosophically pure Afrocentric standpoint, I'd agree with him. Black men can't date out if they want black empowerment. That is a fact. And I've always stood by that. Okay? But where Umar Johnson drops the ball is Umar Johnson walks in the room with this nonsense about, Hotep science and black genes are dominant, which just opens the door for what? For I can get with a white woman and still produce a black child. So he brings up the one drop rule that Europeans created in order to maintain white exclusivity and hegemony, but then turns around and then acts like the black gene is so dominant that a black man, specifically a black man, can go out there and get with any other race of woman and still produce a black child. Right? And then he acts like his only worry or concern is whether they have, a black psyche or not. So any person who's biracial can basically be as black as any other black person, as long as they're black in mindset, because black genes predominate. Like, first off, you fail against white supremacy just off of the strength of that, because notice how pure white people keep their shit, but black men like Umar Johnson want to create this situation where people can still be 50% another race and somehow still claim the title of blackness. It's retarded. It doesn't make any sense. It's more of this magical Hotep science, and that's just what it is. It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Okay. And the other thing is the absolute hypocrisy where people like Umar Johnson will sit there and he'll highlight, we've had great, leaders that were mixed race, and Frederick Douglass was mixed race, and, he's this, that, and the third, and, I base my ideology off of Frederick Douglass and whatnot, right? And so Frederick Douglass is in because, Hotep, but then General Seti is out because Umar Johnson doesn't like him, because remember, when you look in the mirror, you see a cracker nigga. But then turned around, and I got the receipts because I can pull up the video on my old channel and put it in the community tab. All I got to do is take it off of private, where Umar Johnson sat up there and said, and to my biracial sisters, you are African until proven otherwise. But General Seti, he's a cracker. When he looks in the mirror, he sees a cracker. But then when it comes to Frederick Douglass is the blackest of black men. Now, if y'all don't know who General Seti is, go look him up, pull up some videos, type in General Seti, Umar Johnson. They had a beef about 4 years ago. And General Seti is a pro-black, like light-skinned dude, black dude, racially ambiguous dude, whatever you want to call it. Hold on a second. My pleasure. I had to get that cookies and cream milkshake. It's a hot day and I need that cookies and cream milkshake. But anyway, it's just Umar Johnson does not have the grounds to say anything about interracial relationships. Again, what he's saying is correct in saying that no, black men out here cannot be talking. They can't be on the Kevin Samuels train at the same time they're saying they're trying to build up a better black community. If you're out here getting with other races of women, it is a racially ambiguous community. It is not a black community. That is not black wealth. That is not black resources. It's not black anything. It's racially ambiguous. That is what it is. So in Umar Johnson saying that, he is correct. But again, it's this sort of gender-based colorism where, like, biracial women, you can stay because us dark-skinned, self-hating, thirsty black men like Umar Johnson, we want to keep you because we want to be able to fuck you and we want to have access to your pussy. But yeah, you light-skinned niggas that we have absolutely no use for, you all can get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the bullshit of it all. I remember the day that Captain Solo sent me that video because he was trying to tell another racially ambiguous black man, quote unquote, like himself. He was like, look, he's like, when it comes to Wakanda, I'll stand guard at the fence because he's not going to fuck with the white people because he knows how white people really feel about non-whites, right? He knows how they really feel. But at the same time, he ain't about to go in there and get all too comfortable and sit up on the throne like Lisa Ray being the Ghanaian queen mother. He ain't about to do what light-skinned bitches do and sit up on the throne because he knows he doesn't belong there. So he's like, hey, I'll stand guard at the gate, but I'm also not going in there because I already know the animosity and how dark-skinned dudes really feel about us light-skinned and racially ambiguous men. So all in all, I mean, Umar Johnson's, and I don't know why people don't catch this. This is for the people who haven't been around long enough. It's like every so often these Hotep niggas get like a rebirth. You know what I mean? Because they're going up there, they say some pro-black shit that makes everybody feels good. But when you actually go through the math and you go through the social science, you'll start to see, these huge inconsistencies if you've been following these people for long enough. Like I've always said, man, I can go either way. You want pro-black? Okay, pro-black. Okay, well, then these are the things that we got to do, and we got to have some discipline about ourselves, and you need to be going out there appreciating some 4C hair and getting with some dark-skinned women, and that's what it's got to be. There will be no swirl. All the light-skinned bitches that you see in rap videos, they can get the fuck out too, and this is what it's got to be. But you end up with these brothers that somehow think that they can still be quote-unquote pro-black, but yet still engage in colorism and featureism and hair texturism and diversityism and go out there and get with all these different flavors of the rainbow like Umar Johnson. Okay? Go ahead and sit there and talk to Umar Johnson about kicking some light-skinned bitches out. That nigga will start stuttering. He'll start stuttering. No, I'm saying, well, she can still be black and our biracial sisters. That don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, these dark-skinned niggas don't want to kick out light-skinned bitches. But they'll kick out light-skinned dudes. The madness just needs to stop. It just straight up needs to stop. If you're going to be on some pro-black community, type shit, okay, you're going to have to reorganize the race. You cannot go out here with gender-based colorism and saying, light-skinned niggas, you can get the fuck out, but light-skinned women, you get to stay. Biracial women, you get to stay, right? But light-skinned dudes and biracial dudes, you gotta get the fuck out. And then on the Kevin Samuels side, you know what I mean? You're not building up a black community either, advocating for black men to date out and swirl it up and everything else like that. Like I said, I go either way. You want to talk about swirl? We can talk about swirl. You want to talk about Wakanda forever? We can talk about Wakanda forever. But I am not going to sit up in here and entertain anybody who wants to try to walk in the room and conflate the two and act like you can do both. You cannot do both. You cannot do both. If black men got such an issue with black women that they can't tolerate them, well, that's the end of the BC. That's the end of it. If we got black men out here that are in monk mode and they would rather be alone than to deal with the belligerent nature and the matriarchal nature of black women, well, it's a wrap. And some of you Negroes need to just accept that. It's a wrap. It's over. Okay? But y'all want to sit here and act like if you go out there and you get with Becky or you get with Ming Su and all this other shit, that it's going to be any better. It's not going. It may be better for your own personal individual health, but in terms of community, there's no community. There's no community at that point. You know, I mean, and then even black men getting with other races of women isn't going to solve our inability to work together, you know, in the areas in which we need to work together. That's not going to solve our lack of trust with one another. That's not going to solve the black on black violence and the homicides and all. That's not going to solve that just because you got some non-black woman on your arm. You know what I mean? So when I see these two different ends of the spectrum going at each other's necks and shit like that, you know, I'm like, y'all just need to recognize, you know, what your lane is and what your limitations are. But instead, you got individuals that they want to be, you know, all knowing and all seeing and have infinite wisdom, right? Isn't that ironic, right? Infinite wisdom, right? They want to have infinite wisdom. They want to be, you know, these sort of omnipotent, you know, individuals that, you know, are the best voices, you know, for blackness and Wakanda and all that other shit. And I'm like, if you're talking about swirl, you ain't talking about Wakanda. And if you're talking about, you know, biracial people can come to, you ain't talking about Wakanda. No matter what their psyche is. You know what I mean? You're going to have to reorganize the race. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to say that. You know, and it is irritating, you know, with Umar, like the manosphere has propped up and Umar Johnson's like, oh, I'll take the opposite position. Let me go out here and cater to the black queens and, you know, talk about and act like all these legitimate problems that black men have with black women don't exist. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. See, that was short.
The world know you are mixed race, but you fail to understand that the white man has a one-drop rule. Listen to me, biracial Africans. Listen up. What the hell is a biracial African? See how they play these games? Half black. No such thing as being half black. African DNA dominates all of the DNA. Once you are mixed with us, you are us biologically. But I will never claim you until you become psychologically African. Ain't no half black. How you going to take dominant genes and mix it with recessive genes and get half black? If the gene is recessive, which means it cannot stand the power or resistance of the dominant gene, then the dominant gene takes over the recessive and that baby becomes an African. I'm half black. Ain't no such thing as half black. You don't mix white milk with chocolate milk and get half chocolate milk. When you ever see half chocolate milk? What kind of milk is this? It's half chocolate. Ain't no such thing as half chocolate. It's either chocolate or it ain't. It's either chocolate or it ain't. Everything is defined by the majority DNA. Everything is defined by the majority DNA.